大家好，我是爆米花，我是变装皇后，住在台湾6年了，老公就是台湾人呢，蛮喜欢台湾的生活。对，就是这样子。
Back then, before you came to Taipei, were you still like doing drag shows then, or like when did you kind of get into that?
I've been like this since I was like a little tiny kid. I always wanted to like dress up and be really extravagant. Like there's videos of me as like 8 years old, like dressed up like an old woman with like wrinkles on my face, just like so I'm like a witch. I kind of dabbled when I used to dress up for Halloween, just in like crazy outfits. When I came here, I was like, I want to try to drag like on a more professional level. So I did it the first year in 2017 for Taipei Pride.
Remember that,
this big blue outfit with huge wings. It's very liberating. Put your normal self away and you just can just become anything. And then be in public and be celebrated for it and like make everyone happy, and that's what I keep doing.
You'd recommend it to anybody?
Yes, please. Everyone do drag. Some people say like everyone does drag every day. Like right now you're in boy drag with this like little Nike hat and a black t-shirt.
Exactly.
It's a kind
athletic
of drag.
drag.
When I have to go to like my day job just in like my normal shirt and pants, that's my boy drag. I feel like I get all the more bizarre side of myself out through it. It's like a release. Because I used to be really like full of this energy that I needed to get out. 爆米花就是一个
压的，
那压力好大，然后爆米花要爆出来，然后变一个美丽的花，爆米花。
好像你讲中文的时候，你的个性有变。
对，其实我每个语言我有不一样的。日本語も話しますよ。Deutsch, ich kann auch Deutsch sprechen.
你觉得你中文的个性比较
娘娘的？
娘娘
对
的，
因为大部分说中文的时候是做变装的活动，或者变装皇后的活动，所以其他的变装皇后他们的说法也是很 gay， 很酷儿，很娘娘的，
娘
一点。
娘一点的。
所以我看了很多那个武则天超好看的那个贵妃的贱人。
It's cool though. It seems like you get to be like pretty playful with how you present yourself to the world.
Yeah, I think it just makes you take yourself less seriously. Like I think people are very serious about their identities, you know, but it's actually not that serious. It's just clothes.
Have people ever from like your day job? Do you still have a day job?
I'm a teacher. Surprise.
Exactly.
No, I mean it pays well. And I really enjoy teaching as well. My kids know that I do performance because like I do like film stuff as well. So I sometimes show them the less like scary stuff. My boss and everything, they know I do drag.
It's pretty open-minded here in that.
Yeah, the only thing I do worry about is that some parents would get scared of it and think it's something dangerous.
Yeah, like why would people have that misunderstanding?
Lack of knowledge about drag or about queer people because they just think they've never met a queer person, but actually we're everywhere. They just don't know it.
Yeah, and like maybe afraid that their kids might be like, oh, like Nick's like a nice, interesting, fun person.
Yeah.
And he does drag. Yeah. Maybe I want to do that too.
Yeah, they might think their kids will become that, but I mean, if your kid wants to be that, they're going to become that anyway. Like, I mean, I was taught by very straight teachers and raised in a very straight environment, and this was always inside me.
Was that something that you felt like you had to hold back until a certain age, or like?
Like I feel safer in Taiwan going out dressed like this.
Oh, really?
Than in New Zealand, yeah.
Really, even in like a major city like Auckland or something?
Yeah, like people get bashed or like shouted at. Like I've been shouted at in New Zealand, like just for like dressing like in a velvet jacket as a boy. Like literally people yelling like faggot at you out of a car, like multiple times, yeah.
But here in Taiwan you feel like
no physically problem. Very safe, which is another really appealing thing about living here.
Do you think that's why you started doing it here, or just
I think that's very much connected. When I came to visit Taiwan, there was just this feeling of like very deep personal freedom that I could like be whatever I wanted to be here, and then I just wanted to use that freedom as much as possible and then, like,
just take it as far as you can.
Yeah, so like really utilize the freedom and like push it.
Like how far do you think you could go before people would be like, that's too much?
Well, that's why, I mean, that's the question. Yeah. My drag is very confusing as well for people because it's really like bizarre and alien. So people sometimes are a bit afraid, which is kind of what I want. So, and then I'm usually very friendly to them, so it's kind of challenging.
Just like
you know?
Fucking with that. Like,
yeah, it's like saying you don't have to be scared of anything that's different.
So that's kind of the message you're putting out there.
Yes. I think people need to get used to just seeing lots of very different kinds of people and lots of very different kinds of genders and lots of very different kind of behaviors. As long as you're not hurting anyone and you're being kind, it's like a way to force people to deal with that. I'm just like, yeah.
You sometimes like not perform and just like walk the streets of Taipei like this just to bring that message out into the world?
No, because drag is very uncomfortable, so I don't just like dress. It takes like a really long time to get ready.
Yeah.
So I usually only walk around if I'm getting paid to walk around. Or like if it's for like a photo shoot outside, then I'll be walking the street, or if I'm going to like an event.
Have you ever been in drag in the countryside, like outside of Taipei?
I've done some shooting. One was like a coal power station in Kaohsiung. It's the biggest coal power station in Taiwan. And on the lunch break, we had to go and eat with all the workers. My character in that film was like this like white prophet alien. So I was just like fully white with like white contact lenses and everything white and painted white.
Yeah.
And went into this like this lunchroom with all these coal workers who were like just with like the black dust and everything.
Yeah.
And I like floated in. They were just like. But as soon as you're friendly to them and you say hi, then they realize you're just like a person.
I mean, sometimes I feel like that it really doesn't matter what I look like. I'm just a foreigner and I'm a freak anyway.
Yeah,
in this country.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, in a certain way, we get like a pass.
Yeah, I think for sure I feel more comfortable doing drag here than I would in New Zealand. I'm already different, so I can just take it further.
Do you feel like your Taiwanese counterparts, they have to like scale back a little bit in that way?
There's definitely a different dynamic with Taiwanese people doing drag, just because they've grown up here and there's just that subconscious pressure to do things a certain way. I know a few who have gone overseas and like felt much happier there, which is interesting. For me, it's the opposite. I think Taipei and Taiwan is a huge magnet. People don't really know this, I think, but it's a massive magnet for queer people from all around the world, and especially from Asia. There's so many people coming from Singapore, from Japan, from Hong Kong.
Or come and live here.
Yeah, or come to visit here, but also come to live here. Like,
wow.
yeah, a lot of the long-term foreign community here is like gay or queer, just because it's such a good place to live as a queer person.
You kind of mentioned though, like being queer here in Taiwan, it's like very safe. Do you feel like there are certain issues that the queer community is still addressing here?
There's still a lot of discrimination. For example, my husband, he's not even out of work. He can't talk about me at work. Like when he's saying I'm going away for the weekend with my husband, he can't say that, because so it's like it's talking about your life. You just can't be open about your life. I mean, even for me, like I'm not really fully out to my students because I just don't know what their parents' reaction will be. Yeah,
I've heard that from other friends that like coming out to your parents here is quite difficult.
A lot of people are like okay with LGBT as like an abstract thing, but when it's in their own house, then they will say no. I mean, even my parents-in-law, I don't think their relatives know about us. My husband says like we are out, but they're not out. Like his parents are not out yet. They're like out to us, but not to their families. Like they're explaining and the family pressure, and like they're always, all the parents, brothers and sisters and their kids, they're always talking about like whose child is excelling in this grade and had 2 babies and has a doctor's degree and went to Taida. So yeah, it just doesn't fit that narrative so well. It's like still not a positive thing to say your child is gay. And like my mum, like she will share photos of my drag on her Facebook to like all her friends. Dad is like pretty open. People at his work, he works in the government in New Zealand, like they know his son is a drag queen. I just think, people should be able to dress how they want and walk how they want and talk how they want and make love with who they want. And as long as it's consensual and you're being kind, then what's the problem? 爱自由，做自己，爱自由。
如果你也想成为下一位爆红创作者，请打开下方资讯栏连结，一起来投稿吧。